Welcome back to the channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and tonight's video is actually a video about some rookies that I'm keen for 2025 and onwards. Obviously, every year there's always a couple of new rookies that not many people know, but become names within a year or definitely expand on who they are as a player and their profile. More in the season. And I feel like the five that I've got right here, right now, are the five that I believe you'll hear a lot more of next year or the year after and going forward, because I've watched highlights of all five players, and I'm convinced that these are players that you'll be hearing as rookies. But yeah, rookies you'll be hearing for a long time, and I think they're all quality young players, and definitely keen to see how they go in first grade. None of them have debuted yet, so we'll see how they do go for the future and beyond. Hopefully good. But as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, as I said before, my biggest goal of the channel is currently 5k subscribers. Not very far from that goal, actually. Currently at 4,866 subscribers. So yeah, look, obviously still a fair bit away. I may fall short before the new year, maybe a 5k, I might fall a bit short, but I'm still optimistic that I can get there by the end of the year. So if you guys that are watching right now are new to the channel and are enjoying the content, then it would be greatly appreciated by myself to receive a subscriber, and just please help me to my goal of 5k subscribers. But without further ado, here we go. Here are my 5 rookies to look forward to in the nearby future. So first up, we start with the Young Dragons prop, Loco Pacifici Tonga. I hope I said that correctly, and I think I did. But he's one player that I really think will make his mark in the nearby future. Yeah, look, obviously has not debuted yet and is yet to, but watching some of his highlights in the juniors for the Dragons, he's obviously a real talent. And I think he's one rookie that a few people may know just because he's been in articles a few times. Particularly about how big he is, because I think he's like 6'9", so he's near 7 foot, which is crazy for his age, because I think he's only 19 as well. So yeah, wow, that's scary, eh? That is scary. It's like Benticura, and he's only like 20 or 19 too. But but he's a wrecking ball. He played for the New South Wales Blues under 18 side this year, I believe, and really impressed. So he's, I guess, like I said before, he's impressed for the Dragons juniors a couple of times too. I think Shane Flanagan's pretty high on him as well. And Dragons, in my opinion, don't have the greatest forward pack. So I reckon if there's one guy I'm going to guarantee that debuts in 2025, it's definitely Loco Pacifici Tonga. I don't know what contract he has. I think he was on a development contract last year. Don't know if he gets a top 30 deal this year or not, or still a development player. But yeah, like I said, there's one guy that will get a debut next year. It's definitely him, and I really do rate him quite highly. And I think, Dragons originally signed him from Queensland in the juniors there. Born in Auckland, New Zealand. But yeah, I think was starting most of his footy as a junior in Queensland, and he's eligible for New South Wales. So I don't know how that all works out, but somehow they've made it work. But yeah, look, overall he's a gun. Definitely a player that, passes off, maybe a bit of a Fanua Blake vibe. He's Tongan too. And look, he seems to be like one of those players where they're the big forward in the middle, and they really gain momentum from their runs or whatever. Dragons fans that know Loco and what he's like as a player would know quite well, and definitely see him as their future. So yeah, look, I think, he's one guy that's definitely going to be prominent for the Dragons in their future and going forward in the game, because I think you'll hear this guy's name definitely by next year till 2026. I'm guaranteeing it. Next up, we've got the Young Knights prop, Cody Hopwood, who's played a couple of games for the Knights Jersey Flegg side this year. Also played for the New South Wales Blues under 18s team as well. And yeah, he's only 18, so he's still very young, making his way up. I think he's someone that Knights fans do rate quite highly. He's a local junior, born in Gosford, but yeah, definitely a player that's plays junior footy around the Knights area. Knights obviously have a couple of aging forwards like Tyson Frizzell, Jacob Seifi's getting a bit older. Their pack's definitely hitting its peak, I reckon. So probably is time for a bit of young blood to come in and try and change things up. And yeah, look, obviously Cody Hopwood's made a couple of the big teams before, like in terms of playing for New South Wales Cities. In 2023, it was a Australian schoolboy too, which is definitely an indication that you'd like to see if you're a Knights fan. But yeah, I've watched him before, and he's a hard worker. He definitely works very hard. Definitely gives it a crack. And yeah, I do remember him playing for the Blues juniors team this year against Queensland, and yeah, he definitely plays like a hard-working prop, like a typical tradesman prop. Takes the tough carries and yeah, does what he has to do. And yeah, look, I think Knights do struggle to keep good juniors sometimes, like, especially ones from the Newcastle region or around the Central Coast ways. Like, that's where Knights have most of their junior systems, I guess, built up. And they sometimes struggle to keep those players. So I think if there's one with a good resume like Hopwood that they've got to keep, then yeah, it's definitely him. So I expect to hear his name in the NRL in a few years' time. And yeah, it wouldn't shock me if he debut next year either. I think Newcastle do have quite a good fair share of rookies, and yeah, Hopwood's another one of those names. So yeah, I think he'll definitely be featuring a lot more in the future for Knights, I reckon. Now we've got the next one, which is a halfback this time, and that's Zane Harrison from the Titans. And yeah, if Kieran Foran does hang up the boots at the end of 2025 or whenever he does, I think the next guy in line to be his successor is definitely Zane Harrison. If the Titans are smart, they'll try and really prioritise him as a player, I think, because he's definitely been getting a lot of accolades as a young player. He's definitely won a couple of medals, I think, too. The Mal Meninga Cup a few times. Part of the New South Wales in a innovational squad in 2023. Player for the juniors New South Wales Blues this year. And yeah, he's got a good kicking game, and I think he's won a grand final too in the juniors somewhere. So, he's definitely a player that Titans should definitely prioritise, only because there's a lot of uncertainty with their halves pairing going forward. Like, no one knows if Campbell's going to be their long-term 5'8", if no one knows where Brimson or Keanu Kinney are going to end up. So, something we'll give eventually. But I think if Titans are smart, like I said, they'll prioritise Zane Harrison quite well, I think, because yeah, he's one of those young juniors that Titans don't really produce that much. Like, if I'm being honest, Titans, they got a couple. Like, they're definitely getting better. A couple of years ago, Titans used to produce nobody. They just bought from different clubs. But now they're starting to find a couple of good juniors. Like Carl Pereira is one of those examples that have come through their system locally too. And yeah, look, obviously, he's a Tweed Heads product, Zane Harrison. So, and he played for the Northern Rivers Titans too, which is like a lower tier side. But yeah, look, I think, watching him play a couple of times, he's a dynamic young halfback, likes running the ball. And as I said, has a great kicking game, very smart. And with Tanner Boyd now moving on too, it does open up the opportunity for Zane Harrison to get closer to first grade potentially. Not too sure what kind of deal he's on at the moment, but might be development actually. But yeah, look, sometimes I wonder if Des is good with young talent, but surely he recognises one that they need to prioritise quite a lot. So yeah, I expect to hear Harrison's name next year or the year after. Maybe during, I don't know, there's a couple of injuries for the Titans next year, for example. Like, I don't know if he'll debut next year. I hope he does. I mean, only 18, so he's young, obviously, but I hope he does next year, because I think, yeah, if it's not next year, then it's definitely 2026. But for what he's already achieved as a young player and what he's already been recognised as, yeah, you think Titans would somehow give him a debut next year or whatever. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, another young rookie that I think will have a big future, and definitely one you'll hear the name of in a few years' time. Now, the next one is someone that I believe you'll see a lot of first grade being played next year out of Mitchell Woods. I reckon next year he'll get a lot of game time because, yeah, look, obviously the Bulldogs have Toby Sexton and Matt Burton as their halves, and both of them had a great chemistry this year, taking the Dogs to their first final series since 2016. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Sexton's the long-term plan. I think the Bulldogs have a lot of good young halves coming up. They've got, yeah, Mitchell Woods. They've got Got a couple others down there too. Alawapu, I don't know if he's in their plans though, but they've got a couple. But yeah, I think Mitchell Woods is someone that has to be prioritised going forward. I mean, look, this kid was nearly purchased by the AFL. The AFL, I think GWS or Sydney Swans, one of the AFL Sydney teams, tried to actually sign Mitchell Woods on a long-term contract, and he had them and Gus Gould sort of battling out for his signature. Eventually, he accepted the Bulldogs deal and signed long-term, I believe. I don't know until when, but long-term deal he signed with the Bulldogs. And yeah, Gus Gould was adamant that, yeah, this is one player that they want to really see how he goes and whatever. I think Gus has talked a couple of times about how they'll handle his development. They'll start him off slow this year, but then next year they'll try and bring him more into the first grade side and sort of get him a bit more exposure around the first graders. So I think that's good. I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, no, he's a gun. I've seen a couple of highlights of him, and I'm quite impressed. He was the SG Ball player of the tournament or series, I think, like the best player in the SG Ball. And has captained Jersey Flegg before, I believe, something like that. He's captained a junior side before. And yeah, he was the halfback in the losing side to the Dragons this year in the SG Ball Grand Final. So, and yeah, he's and has also played for the New South Wales Blues junior side too. So, yeah, a fair bit of accolades there, and definitely has a good kicking game too. But I think his running game is actually really strong too. There's a couple of highlight reels on YouTube about Mitchell Woods, and a lot of the plays he sets up and the tries he may score or set up, a lot of it comes off the back of his running game. So yeah, I think if he keeps that up, well, it makes him even more dangerous threat as a half. So yeah, the running game is definitely really important, I reckon. So yeah, for sure, a player that I reckon will play first grade next year at some stage anyway. I don't know if Sexton's the future, but certainly think Mitchell Woods is, especially if other codes were chasing signature too. So watch out for Mitchell Woods. Now, the last one. So you want to talk about wraps for players that have not made their debut yet. Well, this guy is one example that's already copped a lot of comparisons to a few players like Greg Inglis. So that's what I remember seeing. But yeah, Himasi Makasini. I hope I said the first name correctly, and I hope, yeah, I said the whole name correctly. But yeah, this is one rookie that has got quite a bit of raps and has been talked about a few times. Rightfully so, because I watched his highlights as well on YouTube, and he's a gun. He's got freaky speed for a centre winger, and there's a reason why Tigers recently re-signed him on a 3-year deal. So yeah, they're pretty adamant that he's their long-term future. So yeah, I'm keen to see how he does go, Makasini. Yeah, I think from Scots College, so that's like a real rugby league type school. Yeah, like a sporting college, I think, as well. So, and yeah, he's definitely got, really good, attributes to be a really successful player. Yeah, like I said, speed, and he scored like 10 tries out of many games this year. He was a top try scorer in the really short competition they do have in the juniors there. But yeah, Tigers fans know that they've got quite a fair bit of rookies, and yeah, actually they do. Tigers have a real good platform of rookies they've got coming through. Like they're definitely building something with those rookies. I truly believe that anyway. But yeah, Makasini is one that I think has been the most impressive, or one of the most impressive they've got coming up. So yeah, I think in a couple of years' time, or maybe even next year, because Tigers already blooded so many rookies last year, so why not, this year. So why not next year blood a couple more, and I think Makasini might be one of those guys. So yeah, one name I reckon that will be featuring prominently in the future. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, Tigers fans get excited, because this guy will be probably a long-term back for you guys. So that there brings an end to the video about my 5 rookies. I think you'll see a bit more featured in the years to come. So hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and have a good night.